tonight is going to be Eugenia Rico. I'm going to lead the introductions to our colleague and friend, the poet and comic scholar Ana Marino of the Department of Spanish and Portuguese. And any of you who went to the comic symposium hosted by the Obermann Center this past weekend really have Ana to thank. So please welcome Ana Marino.
Thank you, Hugh. It's always a pleasure to be here. Today is a special pleasure for me because I know Eugenia Rico for a long time. I am a huge reader and a huge admirer of Eugenia Rico's work. She's extremely well known in Spain and many other countries for a very strong career as a novelist with 6 novels. She's been considered, and I know it for a fact, as one of the most important Spanish writers of the last several decades. And she is a writer who combined a lot of passion and intensity in her work and project that. And readers really enjoy that. Her last novel, Aunque Seamos Malditas, it was recently published in Germany, and in really short time she was able to got 100,000 readers in Germany as a response. And I think her book goes now with the 3rd edition in Spain, the 3rd or the 4th edition.
Like the 8th or the
Yes, exactly. That means she started very young as a writer. She was a very prolific young writer. She started writing poetry and short fiction. And she won, again, very important awards. And for us women, you know, being able to open ground in such a masculine country like Spain was, in the times Eugenia did it, is a kind of very important accomplishment. And I know what I'm talking about, even I am a woman who does poetry and she does fiction, but that is really important thing. She's been a spokesperson for many women in Spain and also for many marginal communities. She's been traveling all around the world, confronting different and difficult situations. She was one of the writers who went to Iraq before the war to confront that. She put herself in the front line. She's been doing different projects with different communities. That means if you have the time and the opportunity to know the dimension of Eugenia in different times and places, you will discover a very complex and rich person, and I'm very happy that she's in Iowa City for the time she's been with us. She got the Premio Azorín for La Muerte Blanca, The White Death. She got the Primavera for La Edad Secreta, The Secret Age. She got the Ateneo de Sevilla Award for El Otoño Alemán. And if you see the list, most of these awards are given by men in Spain. That means she was opening ground. Again, she was the Valle Inclán Fellowship for La Academia de Roma. She was one of the Academy de Rome in Spanish Academy de Rome in Spain fellow. And of course, Aunque Seamos Malditas, that novel that has been, you know, having such a wonderful response, not just in Spain, also in Germany. Thank you for being here, Eugenia. It's always a pleasure to see you again. Thank you.
She makes me cry because, okay, so thank you to you all to be here. In Spain we say at 5 o'clock you are reading or you are assisting to the reading of someone. Everyone is here, and so I really thank you for those who are here. I'm very moved. So this is a very complex novel I'm reading from. I'm reading from a novel. We don't know the title in English. The title in Spanish is Although We Are Dumb, or Even Though We Are Dumb. My very good friend Robin Hanley suggested the title to be Witches or something like that. So I just started reading in English. It's a novel in which we are in 2 different periods of time. We are in the 16th century and we are in the nowadays modern time. And in every paragraph is almost a different character talking. So it's really like a catalogue of prose. So the translation is from Ana Rosen Garcia. I really love her. I couldn't check the translation at all. I have to hope it's good. So you tell me. But if it's not good, you have to blame me, the author, because I'm reading it. No? So I'm starting English for just reading from the beginning of the novel. We are in a very small town in the north of Spain, and a very old lady with only one eye, with this incredible voice, is talking to a journalist. He's looking for this girl who has disappeared. You know that, but normal reader don't know that, but I'm helping you. And she has this incredible destroyed voice, because she's so bitter, this woman, and she's talking now for us. From the first time I saw the redhead, I knew she was bad news. It was stormy the day she arrived. It had rained for weeks, but right when Gago's car turned into Bramadero Bend, the sky cracked open and unleashed a column of lightning bolts. There was no stopping it, and so the redhead had to step out into the pouring rain. We couldn't tell then how skinny she was, but we saw right away that she was bony and mean, and we hoped she wouldn't be around for long. So that. I know we're talking. I know the girl who has won the first moving case in Spain, but he has break the law of silence. She has spoke against corrupt politicians, so they are prosecuting her to kill her. So she's hiding physically in this little village in the north. She escaped from the big town, the big city, thinking the small village will be a refuge, and the small village is a trap. So, I never should have come back. A person comes back because she's hoping to find something she thinks is lost, and wakes up realizing she left it somewhere else, or never knew where it was at all. A person shouldn't go back to places she was happy, and definitely not to places where she suffered. Now I understand what were necessary. I should never have come back. The ocean wasn't waiting for me. Neither were the 4 houses that are still here, with their moss covered with tiles, and the roots of oak trees eating into the foyers. My grandmother wasn't even waiting for me out at the cemetery. A long time ago, they dug out her bones and threw her into a mass grave, and I was too little to stop it. Everyone I once loved is long dead. The tourists haven't found this place yet. No one fixed the potholes. The wind crashes against the now dark lighthouse. The chickens are the only ones still roaming the town, and even they seem lost. I'm lost too. Have you ever gotten lost? That's what the woman in the black kerchief asked me, handing me the few keys to my old house, like they might unlock a secret treasure. That's when I realized she knew the wind. She looked at me over, and I was afraid she'd be able to tell. They always said your grandmother was a witch. I didn't respond. Are you a witch too? There is no such a thing as witches, I say, looking at her crooked nose and her dirty green eyes. Her gold tooth winked at me. I thought how, if witches existed, they looked just like her. But that can't be right. If a woman has supernatural powers, the first thing she'll do is make herself beautiful. Witches aren't real. They were the lewd, tortured women who ate mushrooms so they could fly in their dreams, or maybe just masturbate with brooms. They commit countless sins, being too poor, too ugly, too pretty. At some point, every woman says she has some witch in her, and at some point, every woman calls another woman a witch. In other words, all women want to be witches. Secret pride, insult, slander. Maybe that's why I came back here to my childhood home in search of a witch from the past. Okay. I'm just here to finish my dissertation, I was saying, but the woman in black had stopped listening. She was looking out the window like she'd seen something. The only thing I could see through the broken glass were the branches of an old oak tree I used to climb. The air smelled like rain and burned wood. Okay, so let me tell you about the witch. Let me tell you about the day I hitched my wagon to hers. One thing I could never have guessed, I also ended up burned at the stake. That was the day I cried all the tears for the witch that her enemies never cried, and all her friends' tears too. That was the day of the witch. I raced all through town searching for a piece of linen to shorten the agony of the pier. It cost me 3 ducats. It was the day of the witch that I would become, the witch that I am. Now I say something about the novel, because this novel is talking about the hunting of witches, because as a symbol of the persecuted, or the people who are persecuted with no fault, the different people. And in the novel, it's a very interesting male characters. My favorite character is the lighthouse man. He's accused of raping a little girl. He has never raped her. At the end, he can prove that through the DNA proof, but he has already lost her life, her job, her wife, because he has been on a trial by the TV, by the media. In my book, the media are the new inquisitors, the inquisitors of the present. And it's about that. It's a book about how present and past comes together sometimes. So now we are going to the past, to the 17th century. Selene was born on the night of San Juan, where the bonfires burned brightest, the fire, before the piers. They burned in all 4 corners of the town to celebrate the triumph of the sun. Her mother's been screaming for over 3 days. On the 4th, she lets out an unnatural cry, a cry that dries up the milk her sister needs for her own baby, and brings the San Juan festivities into the town square to a screeching halt. The little girl's head suddenly appears, and at that same moment, the skies open up. The rain fell so hard, it snuffed out the fires, and the lightning and thunder roared so loud, the townspeople scattered in fear. And it was the most awful night of San Juan in the history of mankind. Her aunt told her how 13 cats began to caterwaul at the windows of her little stone shack where Selene was born. Here and then, Selene's mother burst into tears. Her wailing overpowered her child. The screams frightened the cat and terrified the baby, who beat down her mother's breast so hard she drew blood. From that moment on, the woman refused to even look at the girl, her own daughter, as the milk ran down her breast, which were on the verge of bursting open. She asked to hold her sister's baby instead, and began to nurse it. The creature had only been in this world a week, and seemed like it wanted to go back to the other side, shriveling up a little more each day, like it was drying out from the inside. But it was a boy, and Selene was her parents' 7th girl. So her mother ordered that she be allowed to cry until she wore herself out. Death, of course, being the silencer of all cries. Without knowing why, though, her Aunt Milagros took pity on the child. Her own breast now dry, she gave her a rag soaking in goat's milk. So her mother raises Milagros' son, and Milagros raises the girl. And their birth was nothing more than an accident of fate. Truth be told, Selene was the spitting image of her aunt, bony with red hair. Before long, the townspeople assumed Selene was her aunt's only child. Aunt Milagros wasn't married, but she was the ballet's best midwife, so no one says anything. The girl's real mother was married to a blacksmith, a man who never spoke more than 3 words together. All anyone heard him mutter was, "Where's my dinner?" When he learned that his wife has given birth to a 7th daughter, he didn't even register the town's stock of cats and thunderstorms. He went straight to the tavern, and for the first time in his life, spent all night talking to everyone inside, telling anyone who'd listen that if they had one more girl, he'd drown her before she could open her eyes. But he didn't lay a finger on Selene, often to ignore her existence. He took an interest on his nephew instead, and raised the boy like his own, which wagging tongues will tell you he was. Over time, he seemed to forget he was Selena's father at all. She forgot it too, and maybe she knew it. She never knew. One day, when the little boys in the village stole her pitcher of milk, and Selene had to throw stones at them to get it back, one of them, the sheriff's son, tried to make her cry by saying her uncle, the blacksmith, was really her father. Selene laughed and laughed. Se rió y se rió. And then she spoke the words her enemies will recall before the tribunal. I'd rather be the devil's daughter. Tribunal? She's born as a witch. It's very difficult to read in English, so maybe for the ones who speak Spanish, I will read a moment in Spanish. Él recorre mi piel con la cucharilla del café. Me ha vendado los ojos. Acabo de contarle mi vida. Es su turno. Me ha vendado los ojos para que imagine mejor lo que va a contarme y me ha atado para que le demuestre que creo ciegamente en él, que sé que no es un asesino, que estoy segura de que no va a hacerme daño. Pero yo no lo sé. Por eso tiemblo cuando recuerdo mi cuerpo con un cuchillo y me dice que es la cucharilla del café. Es como un microcuento, ¿no? They say it was all my fault, all those people died. They say that, and I can't figure out how to make anyone believe me. Now they are all dead, and there is no one left who could tell the truth. Not even me, because there is no one left to listen. It is written, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. That's why I'm telling you all this. My last friend in the world. My friend was more than human. That always burned the woman they call witches. It is painful for me to explain why. They always lie. They lie about everything, but we are the only ones they think it matters to lie about. Some say it all began the day I found you. It is the devil himself, they say. You were just a big black dog, smaller back then and terrified. I saved your life. In time you saved mine. That November day when the meteorite fell, many of us were given a remarkable opportunity. The clearing was full of strangers. You were just one more. Okay, I tell you some translation of what I read in Spanish, very bad translation because I couldn't have the translation in English for today, but it's just two phrases. It's a man telling you he's caressing you with a teaspoon. You trust the man when he tells you he's caressing you with a teaspoon, because you know he's caressing you with a knife and telling you it's a teaspoon. It's a very bad translation because I made like that. You get some sound of it. At first, it was just heard. The cripple came later. Things were never the same after the cripple came. Then one day the cripple disappeared and we start seeing her with the black dog. Some people felt sorry for her, but she didn't fool me. I didn't like her. I couldn't tell you exactly why, but I never liked her one bit. I don't know if I was the first to say it, but I was definitely the first one who knew. The girl was a witch, like her mother and her grandmother before her. The mother was mulatto. She snored like a lamb boy, a good boy, just like his father. He looked nothing like the mother, who was a witch until the day she died, and probably afterwards too. The mother must have taught her black folks magic, the same magic she used, because the girl would have white skin and a black soul. Some things just don't change. We can't change them, no matter how hard we try. It was the worst winter of my life. I walked through the rain, pacing the cliffs that fringe the village. The water soaked my eyelashes, the ocean roared, and the downpour danced around me like a coven of crazy witches. The water burned like fire. The grass looked like moss creeping toward the abyss. I stopped at the edge of the cliff. Strange powers in the sky and earth had been unleashed, unleashed, and their only goal was to destroy me. This was no moment for losing my head. The remains of my lunch lay on the grass where I vomited them, and that was far from the worst of it. Men I never met were coming to kill me, and I have no idea what to do with my life. I was in Asturias, walking along the cliff of destinies, getting older with each passing minute. I was 5 4 inches, and in spite of doing laps at the pool in the Raval, I never managed to stretch myself any taller. Ever since I was little, I wanted to be an airplane pilot, but on top of being a woman, I was nearsighted. My face was so covered in freckles, I looked like a polka-dotted giraffe. I was too short to be a flight attendant, and it was clear I wasn't going to grow a single inch more, at least not till I was in my grave. In spite of my childhood dreams, I never, ever managed to read an airplane. I graduated top of my class in the history department, and that was something, but it wasn't enough, and it didn't last. I got fired. I won the country's first sexual harassment suit. It was in all the papers, a historic case, but that only made things worse. Every time I tried to get a new job, they recognized my name and invented some excuse not to hire me. Now I was about to give them the ultimate excuse. Stop it, I tell myself. What's the hell wrong with you? Why did you come back here? Did you think you'll find something different? Something new? Some kind of answer? Because the truth there is no answers. And the only thing you can be sure of is that you are getting older every minute. Not even 40, and it's already too late for you. You returned to the town you should never have returned to, where they don't like you, and they never did. A town up against the edge, just like your life, armed with acceptable money and a false excuse about your fascination with some witch out of history. I almost feel sorry for you. Where do you think all this is going? Doesn't the truth about the witches scare you? That they were poor women like you? That they wanted to be loved like you do, and in the end, the only thing waiting for them was the fire. Okay, it's very difficult to time myself, so not very much to read. It happened on Pentecostes, and at that moment they tried to bring Lucifer Fuentes. Lucifer is the name of the devil in Spanish. Lucifer Fuentes' body through the main doors of the Priorio Parish Church. A lightning bolt struck the cupola. 3 people were killed. Lucifer's body never will make it into the church, and by express order of the senior parish priest, they buried her with neither mass nor benediction in unconsecrated ground outside the cemetery. Everyone says she was a witch. It's very good for Halloween. When I read this news in the paper, I assumed it was a joke, that the writers, having more wit than weight, were playing on their long-suffering readers, Sunday or not. But it was no joke. It was the beginning of the most macabre story I ever have to live. And you know, this news was really in the Spanish newspaper. This is a true story. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word became a notebook, and it lived among us. Before a book, there is always a cup of tea. I opened the notebook and wrote, even if we are done. I spent the past 3 years researching Selene, the midwife, the woman who talked to the wolves, unjustly accused, persecuted, and ultimately burned at the stake. The work had given my life meaning. Meaningless life, meaning like most people's, but it had kept me going. Then I forgot all about it. What with the trial, the journalists camped out of my door, the black sunglasses and talk shows, with hands stopped being history and took over my life. The telephone rang and rang. I thought it would never stop. But when they did, they forget about me. My friends and enemy both. I could be myself again. I could be alone. To some I was a victim. To others, a shimmering horror. I read so much about myself that even I wasn't sure who I was anymore. Every day I read the papers. Now they no longer went on about me like treasure maps. I believe in newsprint, in the truth inscribed there. A speech was carried away by the wind. Books forgotten by time. Some part of me believed that there, capturing the ink that stained my fingers, it might find the key, my life's lost meaning. I'd rather be the devil's daughter, I wrote. And breathing, I realized it was what Selene had said. Groping my way through the dark, every so often I come across an old file, some document in provincial archives, a brief mention in someone's dissertation, and I catch a glance of Selene. The musty papers were like matches lighting a tableau. The characters in the midwife's story come to life for a few seconds and were plunged into darkness once more. It was like a secret someone was whispering to me in the dark. Someone struck a match, and so we made parts of the story in flashes, but the light lasted only an instant. I keep searching for the key that would clear away my doubts. A candle, a lamp, a baptismal certificate that might shine long and bright enough. Then the whole story, the complete picture, which has always been there, will blaze before me. In the meantime, all I have was glimpses. I'd rather be the devil's daughter, Selene, the blacksmith's daughter, had said. I started to think my tasks were impossible. The historian job was even worse than a storyteller's. That there never been anything new under the sun, or anyone who could find it. And then I found the story of Lucifer, an impossible name for an impossible story, which is an European invention, later exported. The rest of the world knows about witchcraft, not about witches. Even if we don't want to believe it, all of Europe is the same, or at least its small towns are. Sundays are for chores and being jealous of your neighbor, weekdays for working and saving up to buy a car bigger than your neighbor's. Saturday are the only time people go into town or out to the country in the hope of doing something different, being someone different for a day, a few hours. It might be soccer, football, mushroom hunting. Men go out to the country so they can be different. And some women go back to the country to hide, to be like the others, hoping no one will notice that they aren't, because some women have always wanted to be like the rest, but they never can. Okay. I hope you understand my English. The day before they burned her Aunt Milagros at the stake, Selene was up before dawn. It was dark, a cock crew, and she was suddenly terrified that the sun will rise too fast, and they catch her, even though she knew that God sang all through the night. She tiptoed out of the house, past the barn, towards the stable, making sure her careful steps were masked by the nose of the animals, who began to stir in their sleep, already dreading the hound that would soon come to milk them, to steal their eggs, to methodically rob them of everything they worked so hard to create. She wanted to buy 2 maravedis worth of linen, but someone told her that wool burned better. She had to save some of the money for the executioner bribe so that he used dry, crackling wood. She gathered it herself and carried it on her back to the Inquisition prison, even though it was a half-day's walk. The old spinner, her only friend, told her it was futile. If she didn't brief the executioner, they sell off her good firewood and roast her out over damp green logs that burn too slowly and suffocate you with black smoke. Prayers might help, but gold definitely would. Selene didn't have any money, but luckily, the day before, the mason's wife had been complaining of a terrible toothache. Milagros was the only one in town who could have helped her. Now her tooth fell to Selena. Branching the tooth out was hard, and enduring the insults and screaming was even harder. But the woman felt better that very afternoon, and she called Selena back to give her 2 maravedis, one for pulling her tooth and the other to help her aunt. That's when Selena realized the mason's wife was a good woman. Milagros had overseen her deliveries. With nothing but lard and a steady hand, she turns a breech baby back around, meeting the woman, the only boy she ever brought into the world. With Milagros at their side, not a single one of the women in the village had died in childbirth. Now they were trying to give credit to the devil, but the mason wife didn't care. Her own mother had died in childbirth. She kept telling Selena, and she was grateful no matter what. She hoped that they will come, praise the Lord, or praise Satan, Satan, when having a baby didn't mean to having to die. Though Selena was only 13, she put her hand on the woman's forehead to see if the access had caused a fever, and then told her to hush, that words like those could reach other ears, and from there to the Inquisitions. But the Mason wife had already slipped the money into her hand and was closing the door behind her, crossing herself. Like that. Okay, no, like that. Okay, so yes, no, okay, so I finished with this. I write for the same reader that lovers do when they trace their names in sand at the beach. Instead I write in desert sand, and that desert is my life. I know everything in Spanish. Escribo para el mismo ser al que escriben los enamorados cuando escriben sus nombres en la arena de la playa. Solo que quizá yo escriba la arena de un desierto. Y ese desierto es el de mi vida. Thank you very much. In Russia, the actors tap the public. Thank you so much.